Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more Virche Evermore, continuing Cyan's route. And he just fell down a deep dark hole, and we're gonna drag two of our Scooby boyfriends to go find him because that's what we do in the man harem. No man is left behind. We get all our boys to safety. Well, unfortunately, one of our boyfriends is trying to kill the other boyfriend, but whatever. So. We're Cyan now. Here's the weird thing to me. Boro smashed a hole through the floor, and they fell into a dark hole, and they're now basically in the sewers under the lab. What floor were we on that we ended up here? Like, were we on the first floor? You would think Cyan would have a lab or whatever on the higher floor, unless, theoretically we were on the high floor and we ran downstairs and now we're going out the back. I mean, we were going out the back entrance, so I guess technically we would have been on the first floor, so that makes sense. Never mind. I had to think it through. I was like, fuck floor are we on? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Never mind. Listen. I had to logic it out in my brain. So, we're Cyan.
It seemed like I was able to somehow avoid death from that fall. Instead, I fell into a strange colored liquid. My clothes were wet, but fortunately my bones weren't broken. Boro isn't around. Perhaps he fell somewhere else during the fall. Now then, where am I? I knew I must be somewhere under the Institute. Even so, I wasn't aware of this place.
And see how it's all you know what I'm saying? This seems like secret passageways. Like, look at the, red orby thing behind him.
What is this place? I never knew there was an open area located under the Institute. This device. It's one that I discarded before. It's missing the parts it needs to work. Which means the parts must have been reused for something. It seemed I needed to investigate this once I regained control of the Institute.
See, this is why, everyone else would be like, oh no, I'm gonna blow this place up, and he's like, no, I'm getting control of back. I don't think he's going to in this route, because it's the tragic ending, but I feel like salvation ending would be, he gets redeemed and, finds out who's really doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, Lucas's bad ending was Nadia is turned into a hideous monster by Capucine, and we died. He ended up dying too. So I feel like the salvation ending would be Nadia does not get turned into a hideous monster. We don't let him stab us. He's probably still going to die because he's not going to be a reliver, so he was on the verge of death anyway, so. Or, I mean, even if the game ended happily for the next, 5 minutes before he dies off screen when we don't see the ending, but, you gotta know that that's gonna happen, so, is it really a happy ending? I don't, and again, I keep calling them happy endings. They're not happy, I know it. I know! But yet my brain doesn't want to accept it, so when we get to the salvation endings, I'm gonna be like, they were supposed to be happy! And everyone's gonna be like, we've been telling you this, and you've been telling yourself this for the whole time, that they're not really gonna be happy? But, I won't be, no amount of me telling myself that is getting through my damn skull, okay? But I feel like for Cyan, the salvation ending would be yes, we proved that he had nothing to do with it, blah, 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 he gets control back, goes back to being the godlike figure he was before. You'd think, and maybe learns to love. But, anyway. But yeah, this I would assume, and this is how, so he's discarding equipment, and we know they've got to do better at this. There's no right, I get it, Cyan would be yeah, it's someone else's job. But, there's some lax control issues here. Because somebody is taking the part, somebody's doing stuff. We know Jean has equipment. We know Capucine has it. We know at least 2 people in this country have stolen parts and machinery from the Institute and are doing secret experiments. So, Lord knows who else does. So, Cyan, you gotta... I'm gonna need you to, pay more attention. But if you think about it, that's also part of, the downfall is, you being the director were only involved in what you were doing, didn't care about anything else, and, this is kind of happening under your watch type of a thing, so... kind of deserves to be knocked off his pedestal, but don't tell him I said that, because at the same time, I will defend his right to be up on that pedestal worshipped like a god, even if I know he deserved to be knocked off the pedestal at the same time. Like, listen. Yeah, I mean, you deserve to be knocked off your pedestal, but I'm still gonna defend your right to get back on, and I'll kill anyone who gets in our way! I didn't say my logic made sense, but I love this motherfucker so goddamn much. Look at him. Of course I'm gonna try to climb on my back to get up on top of that pedestal again, sir. Like, I don't care how much it hurts. Step on me. You expect this shit from me, don't you? Anyway.
It seemed I needed to investigate this once I regained control of the Institute.
If.
As I thought on my next steps, I heard a sound. A sound of someone splashing through the strange liquid. Without even a scratch. After confirming my existence, Boro readied his halberd. I didn't have any more explosives on me.
I feel like that's a lack of foreplanning that you only had like a few of them.
He has his trusted weapon, whereas I'm unarmed.
That's not true. You have 2 arms. Not gonna do anything against a halberd, but
I'm not sure how long I'll last, but I suppose I don't have a choice. I slowly got into position against the monster looming in front of me,
and then Eve falls from the sky, lands on Lucas, and accidentally drowns him. And in this case, I would say that would make Eve the Scooby character. He is a labradoodle. I know I said it in the last part, but now just my brain is like, yeah, you know, okay. Or are we Scooby because we're kind of useless? There's a lot. Everybody could be each a character, you know. We'd swap. Going down the hole using the rope was a lot more strenuous than we thought. It took 10 or so minutes to finally get down to the bottom of the hole. Really? Rope burn if you just like, whee! Slid down like a fireman's pole, but wrap your sleeves around your hands, right? I'm sure that would still end up giving you rope burn somehow. The first thing I felt when touching the ground wasn't dirt, but something cold.
The debris is littered in the water, so be careful where you step.
Okay. A large passage with strange water flowing through it. See, this is where I'd be like, oh, gross, my pant bottoms are wet. I don't want to do this anymore. I know I love Cyan, but somebody carry me. Do I have to? Oh, I regret this choice. And they'd be like, you don't want to save Cyan? I'm like, I do, but like my pants are wet. Do you know, have you seen that meme where it's like, meanwhile in the 90s or whatever, and it's like the big flare pants and they're just wet on the bottom because your pants were so long. And I'm just like, that's so triggering because that is like one of the like just most horrific things in my life ever is wet pant bottoms. I don't like short pants. I mean, don't get me wrong, capris are fine sometimes, but like, I like my pants long, but that means that they always get wet. They're dragging on the ground, and there is nothing more disturbing than wet pant bottoms. Like sitting in class and you're like, your wet jeans are just touching your, you're like, oh, I hate it. So I'm like really triggered right now. It's like a weird, like, oh God. I mean, as you're walking through and your wet clothes are on you, that's one thing. It's like swimming, you know? You're like, oh, you're swimming, your bathing suit's wet, you're getting out by the pool, you're sitting there, whatever, or you're stuck in a rainstorm, your clothes are all wet, and you're like, this is kind of like, in the very beginning when you first start getting wet, you're like, the wet and the dry and everything feels weird, but once you're soaked, you're like, whatever. But then it's like when you're at, like, you're in a pool or you're at the beach or whatever, not that I do these things, but like, then you go to the bathroom and you have to peel off your wet bathing suit and then you have to put it back on and it's like, the wet clothes touching my body. I hate that so fucking much. I don't know what it is, but that wet clothes on my body is so disgusting. Like, gross. So, like, that is my version of hell. That's where my torture chamber is going to be, is like, here's some clothes for you to put on. They're wet. Oh, stop! Why? Why would you do it? Like, little insights into Spacey as we play these games. Like, I think I need to go to therapy, dude. Oh, but wet pant bottoms always. I always start with like, oh god, wet pant bottoms are the worst. But it usually spirals in my brain into like, actually just wet clothes in general is horrifying. I hate it, no. God. Gross. I like the idea of swimming in the ocean and like not going to the beach and like getting wet, but like I like taking showers and I like taking a bath, but there's something about the thing that I hate about those is like, oh, it's all nice until you get out and you're like, now I am wet and I have to dry myself off and I'm never going to be dry enough and I have to like scrub my flesh because I don't like damp skin. I don't know. I don't like the dampness. No. Like sweating and then your clothes are like sticking to you to and I'm sorry if anybody else has that same like horrific experience with like wet or damp clothing and now you're just living through this hell with me. So here we are getting our clothes all soaked. You can imagine our skirts in the water and then the water, it's slowly absorbing it and it's going up. Oh, Jesus. Let's get Cyan and get out of here. Boro's the least of my problems right now. I'll take that over my soggy clothes. Okay? A large passage with strange water flowing through it. Also, Lord knows what the fuck this fluid is. Gross. I didn't recall Cyan ever telling me such a place existed under the Institute. I looked around, but Cyan was nowhere in sight. And also, like, whatever the strange liquid is, there's a motherfucking waterfall. I couldn't really see that because the light coming from my stairwell lighting, like the window, is like glaring on my TV, so I can't see that little corner. The only thing I saw was the passage with running water and some kind of device stuck against the wall. Where could Cyan and Boro have gone?
Well, I'm sure this is where they fell. Oh, there's a trace of them fighting too.
Hey, there are blood marks here. They seem fresh, so I think it belongs to one of them. I'm gonna guess Cyan is somewhere bleeding to death. Hugo waved his hand and called out to us after going deeper into the passage to investigate. Which means Cyan is that way. We looked at each other and followed the blood marks on the wall through this place that looked like the inside of a human body. That's disturbing. She's like, my clothes are killing me! My clothes were drenched and heavy. Also that. She's wearing skirts, that's gonna be a lot. Even so, I did my best to keep moving so that I could find him. He's okay. Cyan said he's fended off assassins before, so I'm sure he'll be fine, even against Boro. Oh, are we gonna find him dying here? Because I didn't think this was gonna be the end already. We still have a whole chapter to go, don't we? I kept convincing myself as I ran, and just as I turned the corner, the water flowing below us turned a brownish red. Oh dear. In the middle of the area was someone silently standing in the darkness. Boro. The halberd in his hand was painted crimson. And the owner of the blood, who was down in front of him, was... Cyan? We're too late. With my scream, even Hugo readied their swords. Eve quickly glanced at Hugo, then made the first move. Sensing danger, Boro swiftly swung his weapon behind him. Lucas, I can't even believe he would kill Cyan again, and in his own route. I don't think he's dead, because I feel like there's no way this would be the end. We have another chapter! Eve crouched to somehow avoid the slash that would have sliced him in two. A powerful gust from the slash ran through the passage, and a part of the string holding Eve's mask tore from the halberd. Eve broke into a cold sweat, knowing he was close to death. But he continued his assault, planting his left leg and spinning his body with his sword in hand. Stop trying to tell us how fancy Eve is, not his route. But like, boy's got moves. Using the momentum, he landed a powerful blow. Boro must not have expected such an attack from Eve, whose looks were deceiving. Boro blocked the attack with his halberd, but the sword struck so hard he was blown back quite a bit. Eve, do you have magical strongman abilities? Like the power of Jesus in you too? Like what the shit? Oh well, he was trained by Lucas's dad, so fair. I finally came back to my senses, seeing them exchange their flurry of attacks that rocked the area. I have to get to Cyan now! And we're gonna start crying, please don't die, I love you! And then Lucas is gonna hear us and be like, Hugo and I quickly headed to Cyan and shook him awake. I quickly looked at his face, but it was completely pale and lifeless. I looked at his abdomen and saw a huge wound with blood pouring out. I quickly used both my hands to try and stop the bleeding, but it wasn't doing much. Cyan! Cyan! He's alive! We need to get you out of here and... Eve was blown against the wall, which crumbled to pieces from the impact. I mean... I'm just saying! The walls are weak, or Eve's back is made of metal. Eve! Eve must have been knocked unconscious, as there was no movement underneath the wall rubble. No longer concerned about Eve, Boro began to stride toward us. He repositioned his halberd and was ready to strike. Oh, he ain't gonna kill you. Even if you were a reliver, I feel like it'd be very hard for him to kill you because he loves you. Move back! I'll buy some time, so you try to get him out of... A breeze. In a blink of an eye, Boro sped past Hugo. Oh god, Hugo's so dead, isn't he? Without a chance to prepare myself, he quickly closed in on me and Cyan. Nothing stood in Boro's way now. Oh, maybe not. I was really concerned. I'm like, just a flash of wind and then frickin' Hugo's in two pieces. To be fair, I thought Lucas only killed people if they really got in the way, or if he was told by quote-unquote God, i.e. Capucine, to kill them. So, Cyan he was told to kill, that's why he cares. And like, he could easily just knock Hugo out and not kill him, because he hasn't been quote-unquote called by God, you know, so... Nothing stood in Boro's way now, except for me! He raised his halberd high with the intent of cleaving the two of us, and... Cyan! I instinctively embraced Cyan and closed my eyes. After all, I didn't have the courage to see myself being cut in two. No pain and no heat. Instead, I heard the clanging of metal. I slowly opened my eyes to discover... Oh. What is he holding? Oh, Cyan is defending us. How sexy. Look at this CG. Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, he is, like, covered in blood with the intensity in his eyes, but look how beautiful the fucking main character looks. Like, look at just... It's not even, like, a scared, like, oh! Like, sometimes she has the little shocked Pikachu eyes, right? But this is, like, there is, like, something, like, it's a shocked, but it's an intense, and it's like, you're not gonna fucking touch my man. There's just something in her face. I just love it. I love it. They do a great job on her in the CGs. And, like, I know we've had a lot of games where the CGs are great with the main characters, but I always have to point it out because we've had so many games where it's like, the main character's ruining the CG. Don't look at her. She ruins it. Like, for fuck's sake! In one of Lucas's CGs, I'm like, she looks hotter than he does in this, and that's weird to me. Like, but you know what I mean? We spent so much time with so many CGs that are kind of like, just don't look at her, she's ruining it. And she is just bringing it. This girl is America's Next Top Model levels for, like, CG Atomes. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's just so, they draw her so good. Like, I love it. But I love the fact that Cyan is, defending us because we just embraced him. Look at this. Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
What are you doing to my maid?
He awoke and blocked the destructive halberd, and the thing is, this is gonna kill Lucas inside. I want to feel bad, because, like, Lucas is sweet, even though he's a stabby murderer. But, like, listen, Lucas, I'm behind you, like, 90%. The 10% of you trying to kill Cyan is, like, I can't agree with that. But you also killed Hugo, so, like, we gotta draw some lines here, Lucas. So, like, as much as I like you, Cyan's always gonna win over you. Beautiful as you are, and as, like, tragic as your route is, and as amazing as, like, you being a psycho murderer, I'm into it, don't get me wrong, but, like, don't touch Cyan. Like, so, like, there's a part of me that as much as I like Lucas, in this moment where it's like, in your fucking face, do you see me how much I love him? And I just know his heart's crumbling, I kind of enjoying it. That's so awful. It's so awful! Poor Lucas, but at the same time, don't try to kill Cyan. Don't try to kill Cyan. I find it funny because normally when there's a love interest, even if it's one you don't particularly like, you know, it's your childhood friend, you're always like, I feel kind of bad that I'm dating other people and they're like in love with me and like I kind of feel bad when you're now knowing that Lucas has been in love with you ever since he fucking first saw you, basically. That you're gonna like romance everyone else. You're like, oh, I kind of feel a little bit bad that Lucas has to watch me romance everyone else. You know? Because I like Lucas and I don't want to hurt him like that. But right now I want to hurt him like that. And me finding this injury, like, good. I hope it hurts. It's so vindictive and awful and I just find it funny. But it's because Cyan is my queen and like, don't fucking hurt him. And to be fair, I'm mad at Lucas for hurting anyone that we love. Or Hugo. Hugo did nothing, but Lucas was going crazy, so... I'm a little more mad about Cyan in that ending, but still. He awoke and blocked the destructive halberd. Cyan?
Who else do you think I am?
He was alive. You're alive. Cyan, you're alive!
I was never dead. And then again, it's only a matter of time.
With the iron rod he used to block the attack, there was no chance he could remain unscathed from Boro's colossal power. Cyan's bones creaked and let out a horrible wail. But for some reason, Boro's arms relaxed slightly after Cyan protected me. Oh, God! This is exactly what I wanted! As if in unison, an inorganic mechanical sound, unfitting of the situation, began to play. I wondered why it was coming from Eve's chest when he was knocked out cold. Is Eve actually a robot? Oh, is it the transmitter? Is it he's getting a phone call? I always forget that they were kind of are sort of, in a way, phones in this. But I'm like, oh my god, is he a mechanical boy? Somehow the sound did wonders. Everyone here, even Boro, was fixated on the sound, not moving a muscle. And then... Help! Sister Salome's orphanage! If this keeps up The curtains of despair rose, not from the screams of humans, but a mechanical sound. And Lucas also is like, I just love the fact that Lucas stopped for a hot second, like, wait, the woman I love is trying to save this monster, what the fuck? And then the sound distracts it, and then it's the orphanage! And Lucas ain't gonna let anything happen to those motherfucking orphans. Cyan be damned. We're not letting orphans die. So, like... We are unable to live until old age and must resort to becoming emotionless, defective, unnatural entities. All because of the Brofeast family. Salome and the children of the orphanage were listening to the voice coming from the speaker, completely stunned. Did they attack the orphanage because they found out she's his sister? Because I'm just wondering if she's really his sister. Because remember, we know there's something going on with them. But then I thought maybe she was... I really would love her to be fucking Dahut's mom, for realsies. He's the source of everything.
Mother? Was he a bad person?
Huh?
He was a meanie, but he didn't get mad when I broke the bracelet in his room.
Let me see. The only thing I can say right now is that he is a bad person, but he would never do what you just heard.
I knew it. That's good to hear.
Why are you so worried about him?
Because I haven't said sorry for breaking his bracelet, even though it was my fault. If he's a bad guy, that means he's gonna get caught, right? Then I won't be able to say sorry anymore. I hope he's gonna be alright.
Mother, is everyone okay? Suddenly, Adolphe came in with a serious look on his face. Next to him were members of the Corps.
Hey there, Adolphe! Are you done with work already?
Yeah, and glad that things look okay around here. I heard the news through the speakers. What kind of trouble did that man cause this time? He's had his share of protest against him, but not with the royal family in agreement. I'm guessing something happened at the Institute, that they have internal politics brewing. Adolphe, can I ask how you know that? Huh? Well... Not a genius right here. Is this the orphanage Sister Salome manages? A group of Royal Guard soldiers barged into the orphanage. Standing behind them was a man with an appearance and attire reminiscent of the royal family. Upon seeing them enter, Adolphe and the corps members moved in front of Salome and the girl. I'm Salome. Why have you come here? Salome did her best to respond resolutely as Adolphe and the others protected her. The man standing in the back suddenly glared at Salome. We learned that you're defending and conspiring with the one known as Death. Oh. Okay. I was like, ooh, and I'm like, oh, okay. As such, we'll be purging this facility as punishment. Purging? What do you mean by conspiring with Death? We know that those here once worked with Cyan Brophies and caused problems in Coen. It's no use trying to make excuses now. Like, because we were helping him, so she's getting the... That's why I was like, we can't go to the orphanage, it'll bring hell down on her. But they decided to fuck her shit up anyway. If you're referring to Boro, it was to discover the truth behind the deaths. And how do you explain the fact that the girl who lives here, along with the Corps, has provided support to Cyan Brophies? That's proof that you people have been working in cooperation with him. She's like, what the fuck? You were providing support? What is he talking about, Adolphe? Well... Oh, Adolphe's gonna get in trouble with his mom. And instead of him getting grounded, they're gonna burn the orphanage down and kill everyone. That's kind of fucked up. In any case, there's nothing more to say. We'll show the civilians who the real rulers of this country are by making you pay with your lives. I'm gonna think... I know that Boro's out to kill Cyan, but I think Boro needs to come after these fucks. Because the royal family has never been seen, so surprising that anybody's here and that we've actually got names for these little cunts. Because, like, let's be real. They suck! I love it. With that, the Royal Guard drew their swords and stood ready to attack. Like, this is really kind of a fucked up ending. Like, I know Lucas's was tragic, but, like, most of it was kind of revolving around him and then him just slaughtering a bunch of people, including our friends and Cyan. But, like, you're gonna kill orphans and our mom? What the fuck? She didn't do anything. Like, I don't know. It's like she hates Cyan, though, so that's not really fair for her. Mother, everyone, hurry, run! Ah! Children made a run for it, with Adolphe and the others guarding their escape. Like, they're really gonna... It's not gonna, like, burn the orb. They're gonna kill the fucking kids. Like, they really have no fucking qualms against killing children. But Salome wouldn't move a step away from Adolphe. Mother, hurry up and... Why is this happening? You expect me to just accept that it's truth? When our lives are in danger? How dare you festering grubs say that when you're the ones harming the innocent? You all are the true manifestation of death! Hey... How dare you! I'll have you executed for slander and treason! Not if I kill you first. She didn't say that, but you know she's thinking it. The royal drew his sword after hearing Salome's statement, and that's when we get the magical call, and Boro is now on our side and our friend. Because remember, killing Cyan is not important as protecting those motherfucking orphans, because he ain't about this shit. Those kids are innocent. After that, we met up with Mathis and Jean, who took us by car to the orphanage. We wanted to see what was really happening after Yves received a message through his transmitter that the orphanage was in danger. Is everyone alright? You're all pretty bruised. I'm alive, at least. Same here. We have to get you two patched up once we get to the orphanage, since I can only do so much inside the car.
My fucking spleen is hanging out of my body. Can we worry about me first?
I'm just kidding. You expect that, though.
If only that were possible.
And an ominous anxiety swirled in my mind as I continued tending to everyone's wounds. That message... Something must have happened to Mother and the children. Please be safe. I would actually... I really do... I'm not sure... Listen. I want Salome to actually be, like, frickin', Dahid's mom, and that's why she hates Cyan so much. Like, that would be great. You know what I mean? Because he thinks his mom's really dead, but she's really not, and whatever. But, like, her being Cyan's sister would also be kind of good, because they just mentioned her in passing, right? And then they never brought her up again, and that would explain also why she hates him. And if that was the case, like, him showing up now being like, how dare you fucking touch that hag! I'm the only one that can touch her and kill my own sister! And, like, and then you find out and you're like, well, like, they hate each other, but he's still like, whoa! Nobody gets to insult this bitch but me! You know what I mean? And, like, it'd just be so fucking magical. Like, you know what I mean?
Damn. I have to admit, I'm totally surprised that Boro was still alive.
I never expected to hear that name again. Mathis's expression went stern. Since we were in his car, we explained to Mathis and Jean what happened at the Institute. We explained that Cyan was blamed his death and we were attacked by Boro. Still, I wonder why Boro actually let us go. Something didn't feel right. Yeah, because, one, not gonna kill the boyfriend that I'm trying to protect, and also not gonna let orphans die in the process of killing Cyan. Not important enough. Lucas has priorities, so props. And that's exactly what I wanted to happen. I wanted, like, if you were to play Cyan's route before and you didn't know Lucas and Boro were the same person, that's a little tidbit right there. That's a little kind of sprinkling, aside from the sprite poses, right? Let's just say you didn't even notice that. This is a little clue, another little hint. Because, like, yes, you wouldn't know that Lucas is in love with us, so you'd be like, why did he stop? But obviously him stopping because, you know, he's, like, hesitating because we're trying to protect Cyan, and he's like, but wait, you're in love with him, and, like, but then the orphanage. Oh, he's not gonna let orphans die. And then if you were to play Lucas's route after and you find out, you'd be like, that explains why you didn't kill Cyan. One, because he's in love with us, and okay, and orphans. Like, bravo, game. I like the little hints and things in here. Anyway.
I'm not sure why either. I'm also surprised that the passage was connected to the beach.
Oh, plague in the... Interesting. Huh. But, you know, poisoning our oceans with your, like, chemical runoff. After the message from the transmitter, we continued through the passage and ended up at a beach near the Lycoris field. It was there that we happened upon Jean. Oh, happened upon Jean, huh? At the beach, where he likes to kill hookers. Uh-huh.
I was rather surprised myself. That's right. I found this while I was there.
Jean passed us some papers as he steered the car with one hand. It looked like it was a newspaper, but this one had fewer pages, almost like an extra edition. Huh? It's about you, Cyan. It not only went on about how Cyan was deaf, it described the horrific conditions in the laboratory and the hideous monster kept in the underground laboratory. What the? It has a bunch of things that aren't even true! Hideous monster kept in the basement? I'm sorry, that just sounds like what Capucine did to Nadia. Just throw that out there.
Cyan, are you aware of some of these claims? The experiments are true, but not the hideous monster part. I don't even know of an underground laboratory. I see. I assume the royal family is trying to pin all blame on Cyan. I believe that's true based on the announcement earlier. So if an ordinary citizen reads this,
they'll think it's true and blame Cyan. It's horrible. However, Cyan didn't show any concern at all. I don't think we're getting the lab back. I mean, obviously the tragic ending is just going to keep getting worse, you know?
In any case, the orphanage comes first. Let's see if that woman and her brats are safe.
He then slowly closed his eyes. You wonder if it's starting to get to him, all this shit. Oh my god, look at the blood everywhere. Look at the blood on the ground. We arrived at the orphanage to discover a lot of other cars parked outside. Mother, everyone... I couldn't complete my sentence. Oh, the place I called home. A warm home that was a symbol of peace. Was now painted red.
That can't be.
No, No, no! The children lying face down on the floor couldn't be real. Oh no! Okay, listen, I don't like kids, but Jesus, what the fuck? I know they're nameless, except for Milo. They're all like girl A, boy B, but like, don't hurt girl A and boy B! They're just sad little orphans. Oh, what the fuck? Oh. I quickly embraced one of the girls in a pool of blood. Just hang in there. It's Sis, and see, the meanie is here too. Oh no, it's the little girl who wanted to apologize to him. It's girl A, or whatever the fuck her name was. I wish I'm glad they didn't give them names, because it would make it harder. You know what I mean? But like, fuck. The girl I embraced was the same girl who came with me to clean Cyan's room. Oh, you knew it though. But she was like, I want to apologize to him. I'm like, ah, shit, she's so dead. Like, fuck. She was so cute with how her expressions constantly changed. But now her face looked hollow and her cute voice was silent. It wasn't just her. The living, breathing children I had once known were dead in the garden, and the smell of fresh blood permeated the air. I don't have high hopes for Adolphe and Salome right now. My mother, Adolphe, our family. I mean, Adolphe could have put up a fight. The kids had no shot. It seems they were struck during their escape. I don't see the sister or any of the core, but wasn't it one of our guys who called through the transmitter? Yeah, meaning they might have made it out alive. I don't see the Royal Guard, so maybe we can look... Stop! Don't you dare touch him! I assumed it was Salome screaming. I heard a voice like a scream coming from inside. And that voice... Mother! I assumed she meant don't you dare touch him because it's either Milo, another child, or she's screaming about Adolphe. Before I knew it, I was running into the orphanage. I wouldn't lose anyone else. I would protect my family with my life. Oh, Jesus! That's a lot of blood everywhere! Holy fuck! They got it on the chandelier! Jesus! Well, judgment to those who spit upon the royal family! But rage and resolve weren't enough. Oh, I'd run that motherfucker through. Look, I'm just gonna say, Listen! I'm a vengeful, angry asshole! So I'd have blown up the Institute on my way out, unlike Cyan, who thinks he's getting it back, and I'd kill this motherfucker! Oh my god, is Adolphe dead? Oh dear god. Yeah, I would run up with a steak knife and just stab him as many times as possible. Listen, I'm already gonna be killed, so I might as well take these fuckers out while they go, right? Adolphe's head fell. Huh? Yeah, huh? Ooh. That sounds like they just beheaded him. Did they just behead Adolphe? Oh no. Fuck. I don't like it when these routes kill my other boyfriends. I don't like that. Can we go back to Mathis's route where the only trauma was that, like, he basically his personality got usurped by Camille, and, like, maybe there was some hope that he was in there? Because I feel like that was the last time we had any kind of hope in these. Oh, what the fuck? I mean, I knew what to expect, and yet at the same time, it still bitch slaps me in the face. I don't like it. Shit! I didn't understand the scene unfolding before my eyes. I don't want to. Two things I did know. One, Adolphe's body was pinned to the floor by some men with his hands tied behind his back. Two, a sword was swung down onto his neck. Oh, he is so dead. His head rolled. Oh! 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 His head, which was on his body just moments before, spewed blood as it rolled to my feet. That's even worse. Adolphe? I slowly went down on my knees to pick up my dear brother. Oh, God! No! I think it makes it worse because she's not like, ah! It's the, what? And she can't process it, and that makes it so much more horrifying. Oh, dear God. What? What just happened? I embraced his head and looked around the orphanage to see blood all over the place. I saw a number of the core members dead with stab wounds all over their bodies. I assumed the person who was trying to contact us was among the dead now. I can't believe they couldn't put up a fight against the Royal Guard, because the Royal Guard seems pretty fucking incompetent, but, you know. No! Adolphe! Hey! Come on, you gotta be kidding! Even Hugo was finally brought back to reality by the heartbroken voices of Adolphe's friends. He was dead. Adolphe was dead. Stop saying it, because it's gonna make me cry. He was decapitated. Stop it! He was killed. The game is really... I'm trying so hard not to lose it. Don't keep saying it! But it's one of those things that this is exactly how it would go through your head. He's dead. His head on the floor. Fell off his body. Killed. Decapitated. His head is body or no longer. Like, you just say it in a bazillion ways because every way you say it sounds wrong. But you're just like, I know that this is true, but I can't process it. But the more the game keeps saying, it's like, please stop. Oh, this is Spacey and Salome screaming, no! It's all of us! No! But more me, I'm like... Mine's not a scream so much as a whimper. Oh. Oh. I mean, to be fair, I had to know that somebody wasn't getting out alive, but it's like, oh. Sister Salome screamed with Spacey as she was restrained at the back of the room by the soldiers. How pathetic! He actually stopped fighting as soon as we took you hostage! Salome, we're not the ones who killed him. It was you for spewing blasphemy at the royal family. How dare you! You people are going to steal from me again! My dear family! My precious! Salome's body shook with rage as she struggled to free herself from the royal guard. Oh, she looks so mad. She was no match for the group of soldiers, pushing her to the floor under their weight. Your Royal Highness, what should we do with her? As you commanded, we made sure she had a clear view of that man being killed. I have no use for her anymore, so do what you want. That said, it looks like we have guests. And a special visit by Death. Take good care of them for me. The Royal and his men were gloating, likely because they had Salome as hostage. You know what would be amazing? If Boro just busts the fuck in here and just slaughters everyone and then just looks at it. Okay, obviously his cape's down, but his head just like kind of looks at the rest of us and is like, peace. And then just busts out. We're like, wasn't he trying to kill Cyan? And now we, what? And then 2 seconds later, Lucas, oh dear, what's happened here? I'm just saying! It would be kind of like, of course, I really wish that you had busted in here and saved Adolphe! Jesus, Lucas, what the fuck? You have magic Jesus powers. Where the fuck were you? It's not his route, but still! Gonna kill one boyfriend, can't save the other one. Lucas, C- right now, okay? The Royal and his men were gloating, likely because they had Salome as hostage. Oh, look at Hugo, looks pissed, so does Eve. Hugo is intimidating when he's pissed, like, oh god, he's really gonna slice you down. And, like, Eve, you're like, look at you. You're just so precious. I know he could actually kill us, don't get me wrong, but he still looks like a little angry labradoodle, and you're like, oh, that's cute. It seemed to be working, as Eve and Hugo had their swords drawn, but were unmoving. Spacey was in an even worse state. I can read. Adolphe. Her foster brother's sudden death left her in a daze, motionless. I know it hurts. Adolphe's hollow eyes were looking up at Spacey. Guys, this can't be true. Adolphe's always by my side. He's a strong person. Now let's retreat. Spacey continued to reject reality as Cyan lifted her, with Adolphe's head up into his arms. Aww. But what about the sister? Let me warn you that this woman will die the moment you take a step closer. That red swoopy looked like Boro coming at us. I'm just saying, that red swoopy is usually the predecessor to... And then it was Boro! And I'm gonna be pissed, though, if it is. I'm gonna be happy, because, like, fuck yeah! But also, where the fuck were you, and why weren't you here 5 minutes ago to save Adolphe? Well, we had to have some tragedy in the round, so... A huge pole flew through the window and struck one of the soldiers, holding down Salome. The pole turned out to be a halberd. You know what? Like, I'm mad that you weren't here to save Adolphe, but I'm still fucking excited that you're here to take these motherfuckers out, because fuck them for killing orphans. And Adolphe. The weapon that couldn't be lifted by several men completely crushed the soldier's body into a bloody mess. Huh? What the? That halberd can't be. Just as Mathis yelled, I kind of fucking love this, though. I want to be mad that the game didn't have him show up to save Adolphe, but we needed, like, some kind of trauma. And, like, you know what I mean? So, like, fair, they were like, we'll have him kill Adolphe, and then, when you think all hope is lost, busting in comes fucking Lucas. And, like, I kind of love it. Like, again, I hate that they let Adolphe die, but, like, I know what they're doing, and you're like, we gotta have some kind of stakes. Everybody can't survive, it's not a happy ending, but, like, fuck! I love the fact that he is like, I'm gonna put aside my wanting to kill Cyan to be like, fuck you bitches! Killing kids! And he liked Adolphe too, so, like, you know. And even though he hates relivers, he loves Sister Salome, you know what I mean? Until the time when Capucine's like, no, kill her. It ain't her time, so he's pissed. Boro crashed through the ceiling and landed in the room. It's such a traumatic moment, like, the whole thing, but it's kind of funny with him just busting up in here, like, I'm on your side now, guys. He grabbed the halberd stuck in the middle of the pool of blood and quickly rent another soldier in two. Sister, over here! When she was released by her captors, Hugo quickly lifted Salome into his arms. Cyan and the others slowly moved back to the entrance. As for Boro, he turned and pointed his halberd at the man and his soldiers. Oh, I love this. Retreat! Retreat! They didn't have the strength or the means to fight such a formidable foe and quickly made haste to flee the scene. Cyan and the others looked on as the royal and his soldiers left. Oh, no, Boro. You need to go after and kill them. Oh, look at how dazed she looks. Aw. In Cyan's arms. Why is this happening? Macy was holding Adolphe's head and repeating the same words over and over again in a trembling voice. Cyan was quietly looking at her without any expression. Soon after, Boro quietly took his leave. I can't believe he let the royal and the other guys leave instead of slicing them all down for what they did. But I guess to be fair to Lucas, he comes in, saves Salome, and then is like, what the fuck just happened? You know what I mean? He's processing too. He lost friends. The poor children. Cyan and the others stood in the orphanage, dominated by the smell of blood. This wasn't a dream. It would have been so amazing, though, if he was like, truce? And they're like, wait, what? And he whips off his good, and he's like, alright, anyway. And they're like, Lucas? You can't, though, because you may not have done Lucas's route, so you can't know who Boro is. Because that would spoil it, you know, but... The lives that were taken would not return. Not even through the miracle of God. Yeah, because they're just innocent children. Okay, now we're in chapter 4, so now is when all hell's gonna break loose, and Cyan could die. At any moment. Oh, whose hand's in the cage reaching out? That's usually us in a cage at Lucas's house, but the pain is severe. Can't breathe. Know that. I'm going to die here without even fulfilling my wish. Suffering. So worried about you. Want to see you, Mother. I wonder who was saying that. Okay, here's the thing. Wait. That's the monologue. Okay. But if we are reading the monologue, no, all the monologues in the beginning, I was like, I know one time I looked in the flowchart in the very beginning, and I was like, Anko's not in this scene, so I clicked it, and I saw the monologue, and I was like, oh, okay. So if Anko is the one in the monologues, then that's just another, like, sus thing. Like, I want to see you, mother, and, like, Adolphe was the one that died, and, like, Salome, we always call her mother, and I'm just fucking saying. That's a little, but also, well, I mean, okay, because we know he's got time travel powers, so, like, if they are the same person, Anko is some kind of future version, obviously, or somehow maybe got off the island and then came back to kind of fix the past, and because we know that, like, Lucas killed him, but then he's like, yeah, no, that hurt, and anyway, I've done a bunch of times, so it's like, we know there's different versions of him in different timelines and things like that, so, like, he's seen it all. Anyway, the cleanup at the Institute went much faster than expected. The doors that were broken from the explosions have been fixed. Yeah, thank you so much. So how about that gaping hole in the hallway? Seems like it goes pretty deep. We have construction scheduled for that. The area is currently off limits, but there are other routes that can be used. It also seems our devices in the lab itself weren't damaged by the explosion, so we can continue our research with no issue. That's great news. Then again, I doubt Cyan would have put them at risk anyway. Oh yeah, before I forget, can you bring me all the papers Cyan was working on? Yeah, but they don't have anything to do with your research, right, Dahut? No, come on now. As director, I need to review all work, even those done by former researchers. I love this right now. I love this so fucking much. Dahut, you goddamn little fucking genius. Obviously, you work here and you're second in command to Cyan, but you goddamn tiny-bodied old man-brain genius. Okay? Well, Cyan, I can't really fight the royal family, so you're gonna have to die, but, like, I'll keep researching, don't worry about it. And you're like, it's a little selfish. Yes, and I do believe that there was, I mean, obviously, we knew Dahut couldn't do anything against the royal family. But again, the whole, like, my thought process last time was like, well, yeah, I mean, him being the little cupcake that he is, the good little bean, would be like, I'll talk to him, but you better get out of here, or whatever, like, there's nothing I can do, or like, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't fight the royal family and go against them, but he might say, well, let me talk to them or something, but you're just gonna have to go along with the guards, type of a thing. Just stay on the royal's good side and maybe talk to them or whatever. And I'm like, but I like the fact that they made him a little like, well, there's nothing I can do, because he's not wrong, and being a little selfish, like, well, I can do my research then. And now he's over here like, oh, give me all science paperwork. But doesn't have anything to do with your research. Yeah, but I'm the director. I gotta review everything. And he's like, so that I can prove that Cyan had nothing to do with any of the shit that went down. You little genius! Oh, I love you so much! You know what? I kind of liked that they made him a little selfish. Like, yeah, there's nothing I can do. Whatever's peace, because fair. And the little selfishness. But that wasn't even it. That was just a fucking front. That was just a fucking front, because you're going to find a way to prove that Cyan had nothing to do with any of this by looking at all of his research. Oh my god. I never stopped loving you, Dahut, but, like, I did think that, like, oh, he's getting a little selfish. Cool, they gave him No, you've always just been a good little bean. You're not even selfish at all. God damn. Oh, you had me bamboozled for a second. I wasn't mad about it, because I'm like, legitimately, there's nothing he can do, and, like, normal games would have been like, I'll talk to him, don't worry, I'll do everything I can, I have faith in you, and it's like, then Dahut would have been stabbed, you know what I mean? But, like, I should have known, though, just because he's like, nah, Cyan and I are cool, I just act like a dick in front of my subordinates, so, like, whatevs, we play fronts, you know what I mean? Like, and he was doing it again! God damn it. You're a perfect, precious, shiny little bean, aren't you? Anyway. I may not need them now, but it's possible we'll find something useful for our own work. Can't let research go to waste, you know? You're absolutely right. I'll get them to you right away. The researcher quickly left with sparkling eyes, moved by Dahut's cleverness. Dahut had become the new director of the institute and was now being looked up to by the researchers working there. At the same time, there were others with their own motives for working with him. How are things, my dear new director? A royal family member appeared with the royal guard. He smiled the moment he saw Dahut. Hello. It's an honor to have the royal family pay us a visit. Are you here for inspections? I suppose you can call it that. They all have the same voice, every one of these fuckers, because, like, basically they're all assholes. I'm very sorry I was unable to save your brother, His Highness. My deepest condolences. Oh, don't worry about that anymore. I'm sure he'd be happy to know he helped get rid of Cyan. I see. Which means his death was planned. Your immediate announcement in the newspaper extras makes sense now. The hideous monster they mentioned wasn't one of Cyan's creations, but he somehow made it Cyan's fault. The entire scheme must have been approved by the king. Benoit Revopoir? Benoit? I have no idea how to pronounce French names, and I don't know what that fucking accent's supposed to mean over letters, so. Elliot was strangely impressed that he came up with such a plan, despite being so stupid. I don't know why that's the funniest fucking line in this game. Come now then, may I ask what the new director has planned for this facility? Huh? Why, of course. I believe I've mentioned my plan to focus on emotions and expanded memory. We want to create not a simple vessel to hold life, but rather true humans. Man took a deep breath. Now I'd expected him to say something along the lines of making stronger bodies to fight the curse instead of wasting resources, but... Wonderful! I look forward to your work. The man unexpectedly gave his full support to Dahut, and the royal family will promise you greater support than when Cyan was the director. Of course, we'd be absolutely delighted if you could return the favor. Absolutely! No, he didn't say the not part, but you know he's thinking it. Dahut forced a smile on his face as a certain thought crossed his mind. This guy's already sucking up to me. He wasn't as obvious when Cyan was here. Maybe he's underestimating me. Well, guess that can't be helped since I look young and my personality doesn't help. I love Dahut so much. Oh god, he's so great. I'd better say this to him now. Oh, by the way, I heard one of the orphanages was attacked as a warning to the public. Is that true? Oh, you mean the one that was supporting Cyan? I believe that place has been purged. Cyan and a few others made their escape, but it shouldn't take long to arrest them. You need not worry, good director. I see. So he doesn't feel bad about civilians being killed. What a lowlife. That's not even him. I'm supposed to read this normally. A grave sin had been committed that dragged Spacey and the others into the turmoil. Not that I can do anything about it now. And I bet Cyan would... Dahut firmly clenched his fist out of sight of the royal. He simply needed to finish what had been put into motion till the very end. Well, we're in chapter 4 now, so that means any part could be the end. I feel like we still have a little ways to go, but you know what I mean? Like, Cyan could die literally 5 minutes from now. It could be 2 hours. I don't know, but anyway, I will see you guys next time. I can't believe Adolphe is dead, though. Oh my god. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up for poor Adolphe, and subscribe to see more.